You're tuned in to Black Queens Uncut. Grab your wine, your vape, or whatever you need to relax so we can get into this queen chat. I'm Monique Lovelace. And
hey y'all. Oh my bad, I jumped in
yes,
front of you. I'm so not
no,
used
you're
to like
fine.
just the
Go
two of
ahead.
us. Hey
Introduce
y'all.
yourself.
I know it's like without Kiki, it's like I'm off balance. My name's TK Trinidad. What's up, y'all?
And of course, she just said it already. We don't have Kiki in the building, clearly. Oops, some dropped. We don't have Kiki in the building, so we'll miss you, girl. She out vacating, so you know. So today we're talking about shooting your shot, which is so funny that she's not here because this is what she talks about the most. So yeah, today we're talking about shooting your shot. Even though we got a little update from TK, is now not available. She's off the market. She's been pulled off the market. Did you shoot your shot?
No. Well, he'll if he listens to this, I kind of hope he doesn't go into the back episodes.
Does
But
he
anyways,
listen?
no.
Okay.
Because he's particular. But yes, I have a whole 6'8" boyfriend. He likes to make sure I tell people that. But yeah,
He's
we met.
6'8".
He's 6'8".
I got questions, but
I have answers because I had questions too. Because I usually thought like guys that tall usually date like women who are like 4'8". So I was like, why you like why?
well,
So,
no,
anyways,
technically to him, I feel like you're probably feel like 4'8". You're not.
no, like
small.
yeah, it's a situation at times, but it's you can
You have to
get stuff.
climb on.
He's lanky. He's very lanky. Says limbs and stuff, but he
Oh,
likes to
hold on.
make
So he's lanky and he's 6'8". Oh,
yeah.
oh.
He's a big. I was concerned that he wouldn't fit in my car, and he thinks he does, but it looks very awkward. But yes, he wants to make sure that I let people know I have a whole 6'8" boyfriend. And we met each other on Facebook, and it was very organic. It just made sense. Like, we
So he
talked,
shot
we
his
vibed,
shot.
and
Y'all matched, but
yeah,
you didn't shoot your shot.
nah, because Facebook dating for me, it was I met more quality men on there, like men who do to me the men things I want them to do. Like
Right.
they ask me out, they ask me for my number, they ask all this other stuff. Versus the other apps I found, like you have to like, okay, well if you like him, then you're gonna stick your pinky toe in, and I wasn't really feeling that. So I found up until I found my boyfriend, like I found a lot of guys who were like, they just like, I'm feeling you, like let's go, or like, oh, this could work, but it's not. Like it's very more like cut and dry. There's a lot of less time wasted.
Yeah. So if you was like before when you was shooting your shot, like what was your this is one of Josh's questions, which is so funny. What's your shooting percentage? I feel like that came from his basketball stuff.
It was low. Like I didn't start shooting my shot until Spicy, and there's only really one legitimate time I shot my shot, and it was last year. Like I could give you the timeline. It was last year. I also hope this
Really?
guy doesn't listen. Yeah, it was last year at Juneteenth. I met a gentleman at a pop up I was doing, and I think he was flirting with me, but I wasn't sure. I was also tired. I think it was like a 14-15 hour day because this was my second pop up for the day. But he was like, he kept coming back to the table, and it was a very intimate event. So it was like, some like heavy hitter, like it was a very intimate event, and some high rollers and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh shit, like I didn't really dress appropriate for this, but whatever. But he kept coming back to the table, so I'm like, I wasn't sure, and he was asking questions like, so what scent would you like? And so I wasn't sure, so I was like, okay. And so, but he was cute. And so
Uh-huh.
I spoke to Spicy about it. And then, I did a little stalker stuff because I didn't have his information, but I had his information on the back end of the business. So I went in and I found his name. Yeah, I went in. I don't even know this. I should say this for legal purposes, but I went in and found his name. And then I just put it in Instagram, found him on Instagram. And then I started following him. And I was like, Oh no, before I followed him, I sent him a DM. I was like, "Oh, thank you for supporting a black business, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And then what Spicy told me to do was like super old picture, a current picture, and a picture in the minute and middle, and then also comment because I for folks who watch us often or listen to us often enough, I just do the six hand claps. I don't really do sentences. So I
Right.
did that, and then within 6 hours, like he responded back, and it was so funny because like I'm texting Spicy and she's telling me what to say. So because I was still in my learning process.
Yeah.
And then I said something about like, I hope you like the products, and kind of hinted like if he had to kind of let it open for him to say he had a girlfriend, but he didn't have a girlfriend, but then he also didn't jump on it. So I was like, all right, bet. So that's literally the
So
only
that was
time
you shooting your shot.
that was me shooting my shot. Like that's the
Wow.
when you say shoot your shot, that's the only example I can think of. There have been guys that I like where I probably thought I was shooting my shot, but I really wasn't. Like I wasn't like, you know, out there asking for numbers because I feel like if you like me, then you're gonna come to me. If you're not, about me, then what are we doing?
Right.
So that was the one and only time. Yeah, and we're still Instagram friends, and like he's a super nice guy, still supports the business. But then I also found some other things about him that it wouldn't even worked out if the shot was even
Shot.
if the shot was successful. The other things that I found out, it wouldn't have worked out anyway. So it was like, all
Yeah.
right, cool.
I think my shootage percentage is high, but I don't think it's received high. I'll say that. And it's probably because I'm not being real serious anyway. And I
Mm.
think it comes off as that. Like I'll be like, or I'm one to go. Like I'll be impatient. I'm like, so are you gonna get my number or what? What is it? Like that's kind of like my approach. So I think I'll be in my masculine energy when I shoot my shot, and I have decided to stop shooting my shot right now because I am struggling with relationship stuff. I've never been like a committal person. I'm not like a cheater or nothing, but I've only been in 3 relationships. I don't really do a lot of relationships. There's long periods of times where I'm usually single. Um, and then I'm just impatient about things. Like if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. Like I've made a decision, you make a decision now. And that's kind of like not how you go about things, but
That masculine
sometimes,
energy is real,
right,
especially when
but
you're doing your own stuff for so long.
right. And so for me, I be shooting my shot, but but like most people be telling me, they're like, Mo, you only be doing that stuff for entertainment. I do entertain myself a lot, so I'll shoot my shot for entertainment sometimes just to see. But I don't think my percentage is very high due to the energy that I give off. But majority of the time, I am shooting my shot. In LA, I shoot my shot. And everywhere else, I normally don't have to. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
normally don't
Probably because
necessarily
you're
have.
more relaxed too. Like wherever you are, like it's.
Yeah, vacation. I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, whatever. Like, it's vacation. I'm trying to explore and see the city or wherever I'm at. And yeah, that's true. That's very true. But I'm starting to realize too that the caliber of rooms I'm in, certain caliber of rooms I'm in, even here in LA, like I don't have to shoot my shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I get in the rooms with the guys who are like,
The fuck boys.
yes, yes, a fuckboy room, I have to shoot my shot. But a non fuckboy room, I don't have to shoot my shot.
Yeah.
It's normally like, cause like for Super Bowl weekend, we went to this party and like it was NFL players and it was like a whole bunch of known people at the party.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have to shoot my shot once. I had at one point I had 2 drinks in my hand from 2 different men. I like one of the football players, he turned around and was like, I was like, oh, I see you staring. And he was just like, I'm just embracing all the beauty that's going on here. And I was like, look at you.
Yeah, but it's that
So
confidence thing. Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's the
that and they
confidence
weren't
in
from
men.
here or they didn't live here. So I think that was a thing too. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
Like
the
the
rooms are
guys
definitely
here.
different.
What'd you say?
The rooms are definitely different, and yeah, when it's just where you are. And I think men to just like I think we were sold. I forgot what comedy special I was listening to, but we were sold this dream that we were going to get everything we wanted, that you dreamed for by the time you finish college, or like 2021.
Yeah,
And it's a struggle, and people don't warn you about that. And there's a set of people where they give up, and they just choose to stay where they are, and they're not happy with that. And I feel like that's where you
right,
get a huge um swath of fuckboys, where it's just like they're dealing with internal stuff, so now you're going to just have to
right.
work. And then you
Yeah,
have a group of men who they've sifted through the stuff, they're working just as hard, and even though they might not be where they want to be at this moment, it's nice to know that you're seeing some type of path, and that gives you the confidence. So
right,
now they
right,
don't mind shooting their shot, because like if they don't get it, it's like, well, I know what I have, and I know what I'm capable of. I know what my goals are. So if she don't want it, somebody else will. And it's a
right.
different type of, whereas somebody, yeah, that's what I know. It's like the ones who have like those internal issues, and we all have internal issues. Like none of us is perfect, but the ones who are just like, they haven't, I was talking to my lawyer today. It's like, I paid way too much for therapy and life coaching not to like, put it to work. And
Right,
some people haven't,
exactly.
they haven't done that. They haven't done the work on themselves. So they're
That's really what
still,
it is. Yeah, people are just walking around with a whole bunch of fucked up projections and putting them
mm-hmm,
out there. And it's just like at the end of the day, like, because I just, you see it. Like you just can see it. Even when you see certain guys, you're like, oh, he's nice, but he's just immature. He's nice,
mm-hmm,
but it just that's not gonna work. So I don't know. I told myself that I wasn't shooting my shot anymore because in my mind, in my brain, I want to work towards being married,
mm-hmm,
but I'm not there yet. And I've that's been a light has been put on that. Because we even had this conversation last year on the podcast during one of the it was like an August episode,
mm-hmm,
when Camille came on and we were talking about what do women bring to the table. And we always say, we're the table, we're the table, we're the table. But my life coach made me sit down and say, write out, what is it that you bring to the table?
mm-hmm,
And I was stuck for a minute. I was like, what do I bring besides like sex? What do
mm-hmm.
I bring? Um, and it lets you know your value. And I think a lot of guys too don't understand their own value. Like the fuck boys don't understand their own value.
Yeah,
And
or they
there's a
think their
lot of
value is just their penis.
yeah, and they ain't even giving that good either. So they need to skip out on that one right there. But
Uh-oh.
and we had the same, hold on, we had the same in the same month, we had female orgasms. So y'all go back to that episode too. Those are back to back. What do women bring to the table in female orgasms? Because guys are not like they're not giving it like they think they are. It's not
No,
giving what should be gave. Okay.
I mean,
But for the most part, we're not talking about your 6'8" boyfriend. Okay.
he's gonna be so happy that he's gotten that title. It's like, make sure you tell. I was like,
That's
okay.
that's a different situation. Okay. But I feel like I was shooting my shot, especially out here in LA for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was fuckboys. It was like, I know I ain't gonna do nothing with them. I know I'm not gonna be with them. I could tell it, I could smell them a mile away. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're a fuckboy. I
Yeah,
don't
and how they approach you too. You typically know what it is. Like they approach you a certain way, and it's just like, oh, okay, this is what you do, what you're doing. And if you're lucky enough either to one, just be on your journey, and you're like, I ain't participating, or you already have your little, roster going, then it's like, all right, whatever, like move on. Like I don't need any more. I'm at my capacity at guy friends. Like I don't need any more guy friends. Like
Right.
keep
Well, I
pushing.
don't mind the guy friend thing. I just feel like, um, and this is one of the questions too, is shooting your shot something you do often? Like, yes, I was doing it often. I was like, yo, what's up? Are we like, and you could tell I wasn't even doing it like I liked you. It was just kind of like you were cute, because I'd be like, this was me shooting my shot. And normally, like, I'm gonna give advice on how to shoot your shot if you really like somebody, because I could tell I come at certain guys differently.
Mm-hmm.
But like the ones I knew were fuckboys, I'd be like, "What's up? What's up with you?" And we would have like a little conversation. And I'd be like, "Are we swapping numbers or what? What's going on?" Like that's how I would shoot my shot.
Well, and it's also the energy too. So it's got like I don't I think that, or that the intention, not the energy. So the intent was to entertain yourself, then you get the entertainment. Because
Right,
I also know like people who have shot their shot and it was successful. Because like I said, everybody's a work in progress. So maybe he was dealing with something and he just needed to meet the right individual to like unlock whatever. So
right.
yeah, I'm not opposed to that, but yeah, if I were to give it a percentage of me shooting my shot in my lifetime, less than 10%, if that.
So what
Like
what makes you want, like, what kind of guy makes you want to shoot your shot though? Like what was it about this guy that was like, "Ooh, I want to shoot my shot"?
I think it was because I didn't know if I well first off, Spicy kind of bullied me into it, so it was a social experiment because what happened was like I liked him, I was interested in him, and I kind of feel like based off the event that I was at, it was an entertainment event. So I knew it's like, oh well, eventually I'll see him around, and go figure, he
Mhm.
literally lives in the valley. So it was like I knew I was gonna see him around, and Spicy's like, well, like, but you don't know when you're gonna see him.
Right,
So it was kind of like in the scenarios where I might have been interested in somebody, but I didn't shoot my shot. I already knew that like I was gonna see them at the gym or at this, event again, or we have mutual friends. So I wouldn't, I that wouldn't, I just didn't feel the need to shoot my shot. So in this
right.
particular scenario, it's just kind of like it was more bullying to Spicy, but it was also like there was no I had no idea when I was gonna see this guy again. So um yeah, I'm not opposed to it. Girls, go and shoot your shot if
But
you
what about him made you like him? Like, what about him made you like be like, "Ooh, I'm kind of feeling him," like, because you
his
had to tell
whole
her, like, "I'm kind of feeling this guy."
yeah, his whole vibe, like he was and he was also a little too hot for my taste, but I was also stepping outside my comfort zone.
What you mean, like he
Um
looked too good?
yeah, like he wasn't like pretty, but he was like there's like a I don't even know how to put it. Like there's a masculine man where some people was like, oh well, he's cute or he's handsome, and then there's like a Tyson Beckford type
A
guy
pretty
where it's
boy,
like, oh yeah, like he's very like
like a
he's a
beautiful
lot.
man. Yeah,
Yeah, and then like everybody thinks he's a beautiful man. Now everybody looking at him, and like I usually don't go for those type of dudes. Like I want my men to be able to fix shit and look like they can fix shit and like look like the comfort of, because I'm like, I'm not a small chick, and
right,
working in certain places, people think I could beat them up, but the comfort of knowing that I don't need to do anything, you just need to look at him and like the job is done, like I want that. And with
right.
the pretty boys, sometimes they surprise you. Sometimes, because if you listen to Tyson Beckford's interview on Vlad TV, like
Mhm.
I know he was doing
Yeah,
that type of stuff. So
yeah,
sometimes they surprise you, but you have to test them first. I don't want people to be testing us. So he had that look on him, but it was also like he kept coming back to the table. So I wasn't sure, and then I was also kind of in that space where I was open to trying new things. So I was like, oh, let me just test this. Let me just see, because I've been with pretty boys, but I also knew what it was. It's like, this is
right,
what we're
right.
doing. So it's like I don't know what the intentions were. I don't know if you were waiting for me to shoot my shot. I don't know what, like I was just all the way confused. And I could have also been delirious. Like I said, it was like a 15-hour day. So I
I
don't know
feel
what was going
like
on.
for me, it's kind of like you have to. I do shoot my shot at pretty boys. It's normally pretty boys because I feel like they might be a little more challenging. A little bit. I'm like, oh, they're probably gonna be a little more challenging because more girls is coming at them
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. So I do normally shoot my shot at pretty boys, but the ones who are like pretty boys who are very confident in who they are usually shooting their shot at me. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cute. But I normally shoot, once again, because I like to entertain myself, I'm normally shooting my shot at a fuck boy. Period. Like, it just is what it is. Because I know it's not going to go far. I know
Mm-hmm.
it's just not, it's weird. I know I have relationship like issues. I'm working them out now.
That's all we are. Just progress.
Because
Life in the moment.
I keep saying that I want to get married, but I have to be a wife in order to get married. And I'm not at wife status right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I was talking to somebody. I talked to this guy and I like him a lot. And he was telling me, he was just like, it just doesn't seem like you're ready for a relationship. And I was just like, no, you're not ready for a relationship. But yeah, it's probably me. I'll take that one.
I
But
mean, it's the thing within LA too. I think you're just so, the hustle life makes us so, like, you have to take care of everything. And then if you do it for a long period of time, you don't even realize you get like in your certain ways. Like I didn't realize I hadn't really cooked in like 5 years. And that's
have
not
you
even
cooked
talking
for
about
him?
meat. I mean, I cooked something for him the other day, but it
No,
wasn't
you
what
ain't cooked in like 2 years. Cause you, I'm taking back. You cooked for crazy. Remember?
Yeah, but that's not real cooking. Like that, like I
You
used to
cooked
cook
for him and
for,
his mom.
yeah, but that wasn't like what I used to do. Like I used to, like, for my ex that I was living with, I used to cook every single day. And I used to
Got
plate
it.
this man's food and I used to bring it to him. Like that to me is cooking.
It's
Like I
cooking.
was
Yeah.
cooking like meals, like, tacos and all that stuff. Like I was cooking, but not really. So yeah, it's like, and then yeah, I'm doing that every day and all this stuff. So it's just like things that you don't even realize that you get set into.
Yeah.
Um, like that's the thing. And then the fact that I don't eat meat. So it's like I was like, I don't want to trust me cooking
Yeah.
chicken. Like you might have to take that. That's something you're gonna have to figure out. But
Right.
yeah, it's just like all the little things. Like, I think when it makes sense, it makes sense. But you also have to be, both parties have to be open to realize that it's been a minute. Because I think it's
Right.
different if you
That.
get together younger.
Yeah, that's true. And that's the thing too. And I was telling my friend, and this is all on a different subject, but Josh will like get on me about it, but later. But it's just one of those things where I told my friend too, because I was just talking out loud. And when I talk out loud, I start to get epiphanies. So I be talking all the time. But um it's one of those things where when I was engaged and we had the first love conversation, I think from my first love, when he was not around anymore, I painted this perfect picture, like this perfect guy, and nobody could match up to the perfect guy. It was like this perfect guy just so you couldn't match.
Hmm.
And I think that stuck with me. And it stuck with me until just recently, and I realized it and I was like, oh shit, like I really did make up this perfect person in my head so that I would weed everybody out.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't even have like no like, I wouldn't have a problem with not committing. I would never
Right.
be rejected and I will always feel true to this person.
Yeah.
So
Self
now I'm
sabotage.
Yeah, and now I'm like, oh shit, like you did this whole thing and now you're realizing why you're talking to fuck boys, why you're shooting your shot at fuck boys, why you're saying you want to get married and you haven't been married yet, even though you've been proposed to on multiple different occasions.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I'm just like, get it together. So as of now, I'm not shooting my shot. I've turned it off. I said I wasn't going to do it anymore. I said I'm not going to shoot my shot anymore. I'm gonna just let it come to me.
I mean,
And
the summer is coming though.
the
Like a
summer,
real
hot
summer. They
girl
took the
summer is
masks off.
coming.
Yeah, it's like I feel like we're quote unquote getting back to normal. Like it's like last summer was just a taste. Like you dipping your pinky toe in there, making sure nobody dying, nobody getting COVID for you, not out for 2 weeks. But now
This is
it's
hot girl
like
summer, hot boy
it's gonna be a
summer.
wild wild west. Like it's
Yes,
I mean
I'm so down for it though. Like honestly, I'm so down for it. But that doesn't necessarily mean I need to shoot my shot. So this is the next question, which I think is very much on how. Like, how do you shoot your shot? And I believe there is a way that you can shoot your shot with still opening up the door to let him be the man and asking you out and like being the one to initiate like a first meetup and stuff like that. And I would say it goes something like this. Like normally what I would do if I was really trying to shoot my shot because I was really interested in somebody would be like I would start a regular conversation, just a
mm-hmm.
regular, outright, cool, like let's talk, like type conversation, and then give that feminine energy of like, I'm kind of like feeling you, a little hair toss, a little, boobs kind of like out a little, make sure the girls are showing a little bit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And laugh at the little stuff that ain't that funny, but you laughed a little bit anyway.
That part.
So that kind of gives him the lead to like ask for your number because it's like you're having a good conversation. You don't really want it to end. You want to see where this could go. So then he can ask for your number. And that's usually how it turns out. If I'm shooting my shot in somebody that I'm truly interested in,
Mm-hmm.
that's normally how I do it. It's like just kind of start a conversation. I have a old friend. She would shoot her shot by like sending a drink over, and that was
Oh,
like
she putting
her
money
way.
behind that.
Yeah, because she
Kudos
was
to
like,
her.
"Oh, he's going to look at that as different. He's going to see
Mm-hmm.
me in a different light. Like I'm coming at him totally different." So she would like send a drink over. And then when they looked, she would kind of like, be like, hi or whatever. And that would kind of get them to walk over to her. Because, like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, this girl just bought me a drink. Like, now I got to go and, like, talk to her. I can't,
Right.
So those are ways I would say. What about you?
For me, it's always been about the conversation and finding something in common. Um,
Let me ask you this. Why did Spicy tell you to like an old picture, a new picture, and like a middle picture? What was the point of that?
because then the person, and it depends on the amount of followers they have. This guy had a big, actually he has a big following, so they tend to see that, like, you can, if you like the first two pictures, then it's like, oh, like whatever, it's just somebody liking pictures. But now you liking an old picture relates to them that you have now kind of gone through their
Their page.
Instagram, their page, and therefore that's investing time, right? So now you're kind of curious. So that shows like, oh, okay, that they're really interested in, so let me, like that picture, and then you kind of go in the middle and then you follow. So then they're seeing that, because I think the algorithms too play into that. So if you like an older picture, that might actually put you to the top. So if they have a huge following, then they might see your liking and then the comment. And now if you're on their radar, then they might go into the DMs, because there's a separate DMs. There's the DMs with your friends and DMs with your not
Yeah,
friends. And
yeah.
ironically, when I went into, like I said, and I also sent him a DM too. So he actually responded to the DM, but it's because of all those things that made you like, oh, okay, like this person might have sent me a message.
Right. What
So
was
it
the
kind of,
DM? What did she tell you to DM? What
I
was
think
the
I think the DM, I had to find it because, man, like if you all have the money, like, and she's not paying me for this, so this is like complete free advertising. But if you have the money, because she helped me craft my DM, and I can't remember exactly what it said, but like she retooled. There were certain situations where I was talking to some other guys and I didn't know like how to like frame it. So I'd tell her what I want to say, and it was literally like a 3-chain text thing. So I would tell her what I wanted to say. She'd send me back the text. I'd copy and paste it, put it in that text. It was a whole scenario, and it really helped me by doing those type of exercises. It really helped me to like rephrase certain things
Yeah.
because of being in radio. Everything is so time sensitive. I don't have time to, put some flowers on it, but putting the flowers on it actually helps to like, grease the wheels a little bit.
It
And
does.
I wasn't about that life. So she helped me kind of refrain, like read the sentences. So maybe when I find the sentence, I'll screenshot it and obviously take his picture out. But of
Right, and post
what she
it.
said.
We'll post
Yeah.
it on Black Queens Uncut so y'all
But
know.
yeah, but he responded, and then we had a little conversation, and then I think at the tail end of it, I kind of like hinted like, oh, do you have a girlfriend? Oh, and I actually did shoot my shot at another guy too. Now I remembered him. And I was like, oh, do you have a girlfriend? Or not, do you have a girlfriend? But I kind of hinted the sentence like, oh, are you gonna use it on your significant other? And then he said he didn't have a girlfriend, but then it kind of went dead after that. And then I used that same format on another guy who also in the industry, but he ended up buying products from the company, and he wanted it delivered like the next day. And I'm like, oh well, we charge to like deliver the next day. Plus, it
Right,
was like on the other side of town. And then I met him in person. I was like, oh, okay.
right,
So yeah, so then I sent him a DM and I did the same thing. I was like, thank you for supporting the company. I hope that, whoever she is, da, da, da. And he's like, oh, there's like, no, he just said thank you. I was like, okay, cool. I shot it. It hasn't been received. So we just moving on. And he still buys products too. So shout out to him too. But yeah, I took that
So
same
when it
method
comes
and
to rejection, like, do you just let it be, or are you like,
yeah. Again, shout out to my therapist and Mama Fanu, because now it's just like it's gonna be a new day, and there's like a 1 point something billion people in the world. I
yes,
just need one. So
right?
I can't be stressing myself. I can't
That's what I
be,
say too.
yeah, I can't stress myself on folks like that. And then, I just had the mindset now that like I know what I have going on, and
Yeah,
I like believe that they're gonna, whoever it is gonna get it. They're gonna get it. I don't need to explain stuff. I don't need to go through all these hoops to
right,
prove
right.
myself. I don't have to do any of that. So like that really, over the last, because I've been in therapy, doing therapy like 2.5, maybe almost 3 years. That was like the biggest thing to like realize. One, like I had a very perfectionist complex. Like I always wanted everything to be a certain way, and it's just
Mhm.
not. So once I kind of really realized that, and then also it's just like you can't force what is a circle and a square peg or whatever it is. I was just like, all right, we
Right,
can't.
right.
There's nothing. There's nothing that I can do, but
Yeah,
all I can do is continue being nice and continue having you buy these products, because
right.
money is
Exactly.
green. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We could still be friends. I'm not gonna be, butthurt. I'm not a blocking person. Like it takes a lot for me to block you. I have a lot of dudes who I've went on dates for, and it just didn't work out, and they still on my feed. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's what I be telling people all the time. I have one friend and she blocks people, and I'm like, girl, why are you putting energy and blocking people? Like, let them see you, let them see your glow
Mm-hmm.
up after they, did whatever they did. Like, Do not let them take that power away or like be like, oh, well, I blocked you. I don't really care about you enough to block you. Now, if you're
And the
stalking
best,
me,
yeah, that's the
if
negative
it's
part about it.
dangerous and you have some mental issues or you're stalking me or something, then I have to block you. Like, I don't have a choice.
And the
But
best feeling in the world is to like the I remember there's this one guy I met, and like already we talked, and it's like I already knew we weren't gonna hit it off, and our schedules weren't like he wasn't making the time, and our schedules weren't lining, and he would schedule something, and I would say okay, but then he wouldn't confirm, and again I don't care, and
yeah,
so the greatest feeling ever, not ever, but the greatest feeling was like when they hit me up. I'm like, I got a boyfriend now.
right, exactly. Or I just leave them on red because I be done. I got Scorpio energy. When I'm done, I'm done. Because I feel like
Yes.
as a person, I put in my 100%, whether I'm talking to you, whether I'm, whether I'm, if I'm dealing with you, I put in my 100% because when I'm done, I'm done. Like, I don't have to say anything to you ever again. And I'm good. That's me cutting you off. But I still want you to see my glow up. I still want
That
you
part.
to watch my stuff so you can see how good I'm doing without you in my life.
Yeah, and if they get somebody too, like kudos to them. Like
Right.
it just wasn't meant to be. But you just never know um, what other opportunities present themselves. So that's why I'm just never one to, especially if they're in the industry. So that's why I'm just never one
Yeah.
to like block people. Like I don't care. And I've had people where I've like kind of like, let me see it. And then they've kind of deleted me. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
well, your butt
Yeah.
hurt.
I've been blocked multiple times. I've been
Yeah, same.
blocked a lot. But I'm okay with it. It's okay. It's not like I'm getting on to look at your stuff anyway. So it doesn't really make a difference to me. But I will say that, okay, let's talk about who really be shooting their shot and then we go wrap up. But honey, let me give some men out there that are not single, that are married. Stop shooting your shot. Like you have decided to settle down with somebody. Why are you wasting their time if you're going to be with other people? If you're going to be shooting your, when I tell you that so many men who are married have been shooting their shot, have been taking me out, have been like whining and dining me, and I'm like, why did you shoot your shot in my DMs or wherever? And they do their shots good. Like, I don't be knowing that they married because they don't wear rings. They don't, like, they'll wait until they take you out to like tell you, oh yeah, I'm married.
By the
And
way.
you're like, why? And they shoot their shot good too. Cause the last guy that shot his shot, I was with another guy at the event, and he was like, oh, let me buy you and your friend a drink. And I was like, oh, okay. And because this is the guy that I kind of really like too, that was with me. And, he didn't take offense to it or nothing. But he did ask me afterwards. He was like, was he trying to get with you? And I was like, I think that he was. But that's a bold ass move. Like, you buying a drink for me
Yeah, that is.
and my guy friend that you
Yeah,
don't know.
that's just to establish like King of the Jungle type stuff. Well
Yes.
played.
And he knew that shit. He tried to say he didn't do it for that. He just didn't want no beef. And I was like, no. Turns out we go to dinner. We have great conversation. Like, it's going well. And then, of course, the question comes up. I'm like, have you, because I'm not thinking, I'm like, you don't have on a ring. There's no, like, you know what I'm saying? You've been calling me every day. You've been texting me every day.
Right.
Like, I'm like, the kids question comes up. And then I was like, have you ever been married before? Or like, most of the time now we ask, are you really single? And he was like, well, I'm currently married. And I was like, current?
Well,
What?
is he still like with her? Like, are
They
is it
live
mostly like,
together. her.
But are they like they live together? But is he like sleeping on the couch? Like
No, like he
oh.
said to me, he said, she knows who I am. I'm Jamaican. That will never change. And so she knows what it is.
Well,
And I was like, Jamaican or not, I don't care. Why are you shooting your shot like you just
well, I
did?
mean,
He came
at
with
least
heavy. He came with heavy. What is it? Heavy stillery. He came heavy.
well, at least he was honest because he could have said no, and you could have found out in a crazy wife way. So at least, I mean, at least he was honest. And if she does know, because some know, some do, because there's open relationships and that stuff is all over. I mean, you saw the Will Smith and Jada thing, that the Will Smith interview where he's
Well,
like,
that's
"There's
that's
nothing."
always my next question: is are y'all in an open relationship? And he said no.
Oh, well, I mean, if she knows, but he also said she knows. I don't know. I feel like in that scenario, I'd be like, okay, well, let me get video confirmation from your wife. Like if I don't need to speak to her, but I need a video. You know how you used to hold those the newspaper date to make sure it's like I need a video of your wife saying it is okay for my husband to do whatever X, Y, and Z, and then it gives that person if I don't hear that other party, because you have to be a cool ass wife to not only tell your husband like just it's cool, but then give a video so he can now show, he can now show like, look, no, this is true, this is really what it is. She's down with it, and she could have the date, everything. I mean, okay.
I mean, I don't know what to say. All I know is that, like, I mean, I still go out with them, but I let them be known. I mean, even though guys don't really listen to you because they want to go by your actions, like, oh, if you showed up, then you like me. And it's like, but you will never touch this. I don't hug them. I don't give them any contact on body on body contact. I don't like, I mean, there are lines that I still draw because I
Yeah,
just
but they
feel like
still
it's like I don't want to go there with you if you have a wife, like period. And
right,
you're
but if
shooting
you
your shot like
still
so when I was traveling to one place, there was this guy and I didn't even know that he wasn't single and he was respectful. He didn't really shoot his shot, but
mhm.
he was coming out of pocket for everything I wanted. And he was telling me that like he was posting stuff of us on like it was a group of us, but he was posting stuff of us on like his Instagram and stuff. And I guess she was getting upset. She was getting jealous. She was getting mad. Like, why is she everywhere? Why are you hanging out with her?
Right.
And he was like, well, I just told her like she don't have nothing to worry about. Like, chill out. And I'm like,
Okay. Well,
I was like, but everybody in the crew knew that he was like, he was interested in me. We'll say that. And I'm
well,
like, they out here really shooting. They shot
they
hard. They do
are.
better than the ones who are single.
But if you continue going out with them, um, or any guy, if you continue, even if there's no body contact or anything like that, they're just waiting for, because we're all human. So they are just banking on the one day. Because I've been in those scenarios where a guy got an opportunity. He got bumped up. He got bumped on the, like he was on the bench, and then he got bumped onto
But was
like the
he
starting.
married?
No, he wasn't. This was the boxer. He wasn't. He was on me for like 6 months, but got off the bench because it was just the timing. So
Well, I
and
mean,
guys
let's
like that, they're more willing to wait, because there also might not be. He might also have a rotation that he might have one in the chamber, and might have one that he sees on a regular basis. So like he can wait. He can wait on you 2-3 years, but guarantee out those 2-3 years, just being human, there might be a moment where he takes you out and
There won't be. Like, I'm a Scorpio. It's black or white. And once I
This
put
is
you
true.
in that,
Scorpios are a scenario.
yes, once I put you in that category, like, I know this sounds bad. I'll use you up, but we ain't never. Like, like, never.
Well, hopefully it's a tax write-off for him. Enjoy the time.
Let's hope so. Either way it goes, he was just, I don't know. But he's like calls me he tries to like text me every day and stuff. Tries to have like real investment conversations too. Like, not just how was your day? He was all like, tell me something about yourself that makes you intriguing. How did your business coaching? What was your next assignment for your from your business coach and all this stuff? Like true investment. I'm like, dude, you're at home with your wife right now. Leave me alone.
Well, it is what it is. Enjoy the meals.
But he shot his shot hard. Like he went
They
hard.
always do.
So married and non-single men be letting the clip go. They definitely be shooting that shot. Anyways, this episode, we talked all about shooting your shot. Let us know if you've shot your shots. Let us know if you have any tips on shooting your shot. Hello. We need that. We need your message too, TK, so we can post that on.
Yeah, I have to find it. I know it's still there because I still like we still say what's up to
when
each
girls
other.
want to fly into the DM or when men want to go into the DM, I guess. Yeah. We need to have them DM messages out there. Anyway, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad.
And you can find me everywhere at Hey Mo Love. And you can find Black Queens Uncut everywhere on all social media platforms at Queens Uncut. Make sure you take a look at our YouTube channel. You can see this video and all our other videos at Black Queens Uncut. Also, visit the website, blackqueensuncut.com. We drop a new episode every Wednesday, and we're in season 4. So make sure you catch up on all the last seasons, 1, 2, and 3. We have so much there. We have so much information. We have so many great guests. So make sure you catch up on that, and we will see you next time. Bye, Queendom family.
Ciao.